rotation. They'll go only about 7 deep. They've got that guy, though. Jamal McMurray opens the scoring with a 3 for the second straight night.
Jamal McMurray so good off the bounce into the jump shot. As good as there is in the country.
Starting lineups brought to you by Air Force Reserve. Justin Jennifer, Keith Williams, along with Cumberland the guards, Trayvon Scott and Desir Brooks, both of whom have stepped up in major ways from last year's Cincinnati team. Jennifer just a few assists shy of qualifying to lead the league in assist-to-turnover ratio. Here's Trayvon Scott with a long contested 2. It's a shot clock violation as that ball never touched the rim. The SMU starting 5, and again, you'll see these 5 quite a bit, only about 7 deep. With the transfer from Arkansas, who does everything. McMurray coming off a 27-point game last night. Foster, Isaiah Mike, a Duquesne transfer who's had a great year, and Chagua.
Watch the Cincinnati defense. It's not man, it's not zone. It's a chameleon defense. They rotate, they communicate throughout every possession. That time, successful.
Our officials tonight, Joe Lindsay is our crew chief. He'll toss it up. Alandis Poole and Bill Jacobson as well. Ethan Chagua and Desir Brooks to jump it. SMU wins the tip. Mustangs 74-65 winners over Tulsa yesterday. Same starting 5. Jimmy Witt and Jere Foster once again game time decisions with shoulder issues. Once again, both aren't playing. This is a very short SMU rotation. They'll go only about 7 deep. They've got that guy, though. Jamal McMurray opens the scoring with a 3 for the second straight night.
Jamal McMurray so good off the bounce into the jump shot. As good as there is in the country.
Starting lineups brought to you by Air Force Reserve. Justin Jennifer, Keith Williams, along with Cumberland the guards, Trayvon Scott and Desir Brooks, both of whom have stepped up in major ways from last year's Cincinnati team. Jennifer just a few assists shy of qualifying to lead the league in assist-to-turnover ratio. Here's Trayvon Scott with a long contested 2. It's a shot clock violation as that ball never touched the rim. The SMU starting 5, and again, you'll see these 5 quite a bit, only about 7 deep. With the transfer from Arkansas, who does everything. McMurray coming off a 27-point game last night. Foster, Isaiah Mike, a Duquesne transfer who's had a great year, and Chagua.
Watch the Cincinnati defense. It's not man, it's not zone. It's a chameleon defense. They rotate, they communicate throughout every possession. That time, successful.
Third best scoring defense in the conference in American Conference games. 9th overall in the nation. Cumberland feeds Brooks for the first 2 for the Bearcats.
Jaron Cumberland told me before the game that he would defer to his teammates. He would make them better early in this basketball team until they need him to take over.
He is their leader in assists, Cumberland, not just the scoring leader. McMurray with a contested 3, reeled in by Scott. It's a very good rebounding Cincinnati team. They were not very good on the glass in their 2 losses, and that infuriates Mick Coleman as much as anything. There's Jennifer, the conference's leading 3-point shooter by percentage with a triple.
Cincinnati was out-rebounded by 21 rebounds in their last 2 games. That is not Mick Cronin-like. That is not Bearcat-like.
Unfathomable, really, in Mick Cronin's tenure. Allowed 33 offensive rebounds in those 2 games. And they allow one here to win.
The 2 white jerseys on the floor. That's good news for Cincinnati.
Cumberland clears it out. Good closeout boxing, Jere Foster. Here's Keith Williams, a sophomore. Wild pass and a Cincinnati turnover. Tim Jankovic, 3rd full year as the SMU head coach, taking over for Larry Brown. He did lead this team to the NCAA tournament as the American Conference champions a couple of years ago. SMU has been very good in this tournament. A record of 8-2 in the last 4 years.
Kevin, how he has managed injuries right from the beginning. They only went 5-on-5 8 times in the preseason, and then it carried over throughout this season. Jere Foster now healthy. That's huge for the Mustangs.
McMurray rejected by Williams. Second leading shot blocker for the Bearcats at just 6'5". Here is Scott. Left alone and missed the 3. McMurray with the rebound. And a wild pass off the hands of Shagwell. If you're going to get on the plane and represent the team that I coach, you're going to block out and then you're going to go after the ball. That's not really rocket science. Quote, end quote, Mick Cronin after Cincinnati's loss to Houston on Sunday.
He's a coach's son, a high school coach's son. Hep Cronin is his father, was also a tough-minded defensive technician. Made a lot of great high school players better in the greater Cincinnati area.
Cumberland off the screen, missed the three. Offensive rebound to Scott. How will Cincinnati respond? Losing at UCF by 3, losing to Houston Sunday by 16.
They responded by literally working on rebounding drills in their warm-up, and they went through defensive shell drills in their warm-up as well. I've never seen that in 20 years of doing this, in 17 years in college basketball as a coach. I've never seen a team warm up quite the way Cincinnati did tonight.
And about 40 minutes before the game, they were going 3-on-3.
It was a short practice of shell drill and rebound. You think this team's focused?
Wait, denied, but the ball goes in anyway. Does Brooks get a block shot for that? Because he certainly altered it. The ball found the rim.
Judy Wood is not shy. He takes the ball to the rim. He took it right to Brooks. Here we go again.
Shagwell takes it into Cumberland. 5 quick ones for SMU. By the way, Brooks does not get a shot block for that. We all saw it, but it still doesn't count.
Transition for offense early for SMU has been effective.
Jennifer, his second three.
Justin Jennifer used to be a guy you did not have to guard at the three-point line. Now he shoots over 40% from the three-point line. He's so improved in that way.
The co-most improved players of the year were Josh Carlton and Nate Pierre-Louis in the league. I wonder if Justin Jennifer got some votes.
I'm sure he did, because he has improved his shooting stroke dramatically.
Good ball movement, SMU. Sets up a three. Jeray Foster, just his 11th triple of the year.
So Cincinnati has worked on their help side defense and rotating quicker. And I expect Mick Cronin to go to his bench, and he will.
Kane Broom, Trevor Moore will check in when we get the under-16 media timeout. Scott, that's a forced pass by Cumberland, a turnover. Shagwell has it for SMU.
Well, you just feel like Cincinnati's trying too hard on offense.
Witt. He is just about automatic from in and around the paint area.
I sense frustration from Cincinnati right now.
SMU scoring even when their shots are blocked early on.
Jimmy Witt. Multiple shooters. Cincinnati, I think, right now is trying too hard. And I don't think they're communicating as well. They need to settle down, run their routes, do their jobs, and then rotate accordingly.
Back underway after what was an official timeout. Heading into the break, Kane Broom, Trevor Moore have come out of the floor for Cincinnati. And Trayvon Scott is fouled on the catch. Ron Hunt, who just checked in for SMU, picks up the first foul for either team in the game.
You know, usually, Kevin, late season, you'll do shell drills some, but not as much teaching, not as much position work on the backside. But that's where Cincinnati went back to those fundamentals this week after their back-to-back losses.
Cumberland 3 assists on Cincinnati's 3 baskets so far. Finally puts up a deep one. Off the heel, last touch by McMurray. And Cincinnati will keep it.
Well, and sometimes when you work so hard on the defensive end, you can get tight offensively. Cincinnati feels tight early in this game. SMU's playing with house money. They look loose.
Well, you said yesterday that you think SMU is the X-factor team in this tournament. So that record is deceiving to you then, the 15-16, 6-12?
With Dre Foster, they're 10-5. Without him, they're 5-11. You know, this is the 10-5 team with Dre Foster.
Brooks with a slam. Another assist for Cumberland. SMU lost Ray Foster last year to a torn ACL. They lost him this year 4 games into conference play to a knee injury. This is his 5th game back.
Well, Cincinnati, even off the loose ball, as Cumberland just faces up, there's the assist guy. He's making his teammates better. That's what he said he was going to do early and facilitate the game to his teammates. And there's Dre Foster right there. You talk about an X-Factor team, he's the X-Factor guy. Maybe the most X-Factor guy in this league, as SMU is a completely different team. They have a different personality when Dre Foster's on the floor.
Hold on a second. Shagwell is about to shoot. SMU looks ready to sub in Nat Dixon. Confusion at the scorer's table. Maybe Dixon is going to check in for Shagwell. And he missed the free throw. Hold on to your horses, Nat. Cumberland, 4 assists on 4 Cincinnati baskets. Finally does it himself.
Boy, he read that separation in the defense and just stepped right through it. He's so strong and quick with the basketball in his hands.
Unanimous first team all-conference pick, the American Player of the Year, 3rd in the league in scoring. There's Witt working it into Groom. Well, Brooks thought about tipping it, got out of the way of what would have been a goaltend, but Farrah Hunt scooped in for the rebound and score. The freshman Hunt has been outstanding on the glass the last 2 games with 21 rebounds.
And the best player, Jaron Cumberland, was the guy that should have blocked off on that play. That's the leadership that Mick Cronin is looking for, and Cumberland knows it. But he broke down there.
Rashawn Fredericks, junior college transfer. Fredericks scoreless in 5 of his last 6 games. The only game in which he scored was against SMU previously. There's McMurray. That thing nearly hit the roof of FedEx Forum and still managed to drop.
But neither of these teams have shown the ability to defend the bounce yet. Both these teams getting into gaps, making it plays, almost making it look easy.
How surprised are you at that shot? Broom with the 3, we're tied. Cincinnati shooting 7 for 13, same as SMU.
And Mick Cronin just challenges defense to get in a stance and start playing defense and deflect dribblers. We'll see if it works.
McMurray with Moore on him. Well defended by Trevor Moore. Now Mike. Way too long. Cumberland picks up the rebound, his 2nd.
That was Cincinnati's best defensive possession so far, by far.
Trevor Moore. Brooks flies in there, but the ball collected by SMU Isaiah Mike. Hunt is running the floor. Witt might have had a chance for a lot, didn't go for it. Instead, he elevates and scores. Jimmy Witt with 6.
Jimmy Witt has a hidden talent. A lot of guards would take that right to the rim. He's such a good mid-range, 12-foot, 15-foot guy. He reads defenders coming to him and just stops on a dime and pops.
Jimmy Witt has had 4 3-pointers on the whole year. He's a 6'3" point guard. Atypical in this version of college basketball, but boy, is he lethal in the mid-range. Hunt fumbled and then was out of control. That's an offensive foul. Hunt's 2nd foul.
Jamal McMurray is so effective off the bounce. He can bang the jump shot. Valley Conference with Bradley. Loyola went to the Final Four last year. Of course, Wichita State out of the Valley back in 2013 also went to the Final Four. That's a dangerous conference for a champion to make a run.
Bradley Braves as the 5 seed. They upset Loyola Chicago in the semis. They beat UNI in the championship. They're on their way from March Madness to March Madness. SMU and Cincinnati winning to the semifinals. They'll face the winner of our next quarterfinal. Wichita State, the aforementioned Shockers, and 3rd-seeded Temple of Joe Lunardi's last 4 teams in the field. A monumental bubble game. Cumberland with a floater. 4 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists for the American Player of the Year.
SMU switches up defenses coming out of the timeout in 2-3 zone, and Jaron Cumberland good enough to score in the gap.
Been great as a facilitator early on. Terrific as a scorer always. Here's Witt, not a 3-point threat. Missed a long 2. Shagwa and Cumberland were battling for that rebound. foul is against Cincinnati and Rashawn Fredericks.
I never have a problem with that foul. If you overbox off and get a foul, it's not a problem.
What fouls do you have a problem with?
Stupid fouls. When you reach 75 feet away from the basket. But when you're going to get a rebound, I'd say be as physical as you need to be to go get it.
Physical play there. Shagwell leaning into Brooks. That might not be a play Ethan Shagwell would have made last year.
He wouldn't have. He wasn't in good enough shape. He couldn't elevate to that level. Now keep an eye on Jaron Cumberland here, number 34. Watch how he moves the open space. There he is with the basketball. He's against the zone now.
Shagwell just daring Fredericks to shoot, and Hunt has the rebound.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. They'd rather have Fredericks shoot than Justin Jennifer or Jaron Cumberland and company.
35.6% shooter, Fredericks.
It's always the reason why somebody's open, especially against a good defensive team.
Matt Dixon into the game, the grad transfer from Chattanooga. Dixon is fouled and finishes.
I'm not sure how much longer Rashawn Fredericks is going to stay in this game. As Matt Dixon just used him, got him on his hip, and invited the foul. And guess who's going out? Rashawn Fredericks.
His second foul. I think you were sure how much longer Rashawn Fredericks was going to stay in the game.
Yes, I was. I have an extra sense about that. You know,
your spidey senses were tingling. Mamadou Diarra has checked in for the first time. Scott has returned. And SMU will substitute Isaiah Mike in for Dixon after he completes the three-point play. Well, hang on a second. SMU's got 6 on the floor right now. Dixon's going to head back to the scorer's table after he just came out.
Yeah, the ball is in play. Mick Cronin has a point right there. The ball is in play. The officials stopped it when SMU had 6 players on the floor. And Tim Jankovic is smiling.
Because he knows he got away with one.
I think he may have.
Dixon hit the free throw, came out, then just stayed on the floor. He's ready to check back in. So Shagwell must have been coming in for the wrong player. Anyway, Dixon will come back in the next whistle. Keith Williams hits a 2 for Cincinnati.
Watch Justin Jennifer, number 3 in white. Watch how he directs traffic defensively. You'll see him pointing.
Foster long 2. Remind the folks that were watching earlier and tell the folks who weren't watching that the substitution horn here is not working. The giant scoreboard was practically down to the floor between games because the horn's in there. They couldn't fix it, the folks here at Memphis.
That's right. The shot clock horn works, but the game clock horn does not.
So perhaps that was a reason for the wonky substitution. McMurray bangs a 3. The officials' whistles work. And Bill Jacobson's whistle signals Cincinnati timeout.
SMU is the X factor in this tournament.
Last 100 meetings, Duke 50, North Carolina 50. Third meeting of the season. The first one we think where Zion Williamson will play more than a minute. Duke and UNC after Virginia, Florida State. That's currently on ESPN, all part of the New York Life AAC Tournament. All part, on the larger scale, of Champ Week, presented by Principal.
And both those teams, in that 50-50 record, have scored over 1,700 points. Almost identical offensive production in that 50-50 record.
It's freakish. Remember, last year it was 50-50 in the last 100 games. And then Duke won, and then it was still 50-50 in the last 100. It seems that no matter how far back you go, these teams were always, when one was up, the other was slightly down, and vice versa. Trayvon Scott, the bucket, out of the Cincinnati timeout. SMU on offense, where they've shot it at 60%. They were 62% in the first half yesterday, led by McMurray with his 8. That is a turnover against Dixon, who was on the sideline.
I see more players step out of bounds over there in the corner. I think we need a wider court. I don't think there's enough room to catch it and shoot in the corners. I think we need a wider court. I think go to 54 feet or 56 feet wide.
How about the players just learn where the sidelines are?
You see it all the time, though. Players are bigger. when there were midgets like me, munchkins like me, it didn't matter.
So you would widen.
I'd widen the
Would
court.
you widen the court both ways, or you good with 94
I'm
feet?
pretty good with 94 feet, but I would make it wider.
Cumberland rattles one in. I have seen that an unusual amount this year. That sounds like anecdotal evidence because I don't have the numbers to prove it, but it's happened a few times in this tournament already. Here's Isaiah Mike. Isaiah Mike buries a three right into Sear Brooks' face.
Isaiah Mike can really shoot the basketball at 6'8". And to have an uncontested jump shot from there, that's unacceptable defense. Isaiah Mike is a really good player and a really good shooter. SMU can spread you and use you.
They're 4 for 6 from 3 now. Yesterday they were 10 for 25 from 3. Jennifer on the attack. Weston Jennifer usually a long-range shooter. Jennifer just 2 points, 0 for 5 from the field Sunday. 8 today, and here's Scott with a steal and slam.
That'll ignite this defense. That looks like Cincinnati.
Here come the Bearcat faithful in red. Their first game in this American Conference tournament. The tournament they won last year as the top seed. Dixon.
Good defense.
Here's Cumberland. Wild pass by Jennifer. And a Cincinnati turnover.
So it all starts offensively with Justin Jennifer getting to the rack. And then the defense by Trayvon Scott, who jumps the route and is rewarded. And then look at the on-ball defense. And then you've got Nasir Brooks comes all the way from the backside, about 15 feet off the ball. That's why they played shell drill defense. And that's the result of those repetitions late in the season. Well done by Nasir Brooks.
Third best shot blocker in the American, 1.5 per game. Cincinnati, the best shot blocking team in the American. A conference that includes a 7'6" man for UCF. Off another takeaway. Williams will pull from 3. Hunt falling to the ground, got the ball away to Whip before he traveled.
That was good at transition defense you're going to see.
Mike again.
He shouldn't be that open. UC bench is going crazy when he's standing there shooting the ball.
McMurray creates space. Hunt fighting for the offensive rebound, beg your pardon. Mike is in there. And a foul against Cincinnati.
Keith Williams coming out. He's going to come out for not defending and then not for blocking off.
Are there 2 more cardinal sins for a Mick Cronin player than not defending and not blocking out?
No, that's a great way to get into Mick Cronin doghouse. And especially not recognizing the scouting report as Williams goes off the floor and then executing the scouting report.
By the way, I know that sounds obvious. Every coach will put you in the doghouse, right, for not defending, not blocking out. But I say that because if you watch Cincinnati, you know there is always a hyper-specific focus on those 2 elements. It's part of the reason why they win as much as they do, right?
The only thing players understand, they don't understand running stairs. The only thing players understand is playing time. Minutes. That's it. That's why Jamal McMurray, when he was sat at the UCF game about 8 games ago, he played 5 minutes in the first half. Jamal McMurray has now responded with his best basketball. We'll talk more about that when we come back as these 2 teams battle.
To a good start again today.
He's been terrific for the last 8 games. He only played 5 minutes in the first half on February 10th against UCF and seemed disinterested, quite frankly. And Tim Jankovic said, you might be my best player, but you're going to sit down the rest of the half. That's called brain surgery among coaches, by the way. And, it's not how the adversity comes to you, but it's how you deal with it. Jamal McMurray decided that he was going to deal with the adversity in a positive way. In the last 8 games, he's averaged over 19 points a game. He's had 5 20-point games. The kid's been unbelievable. Hats off to Jamal McMurray for accepting coaching.
They set the record tonight for three-pointers made in a season at SMU, passing Robert Nyakundi from 2010-11. However, here he travels. McMurray started his career at USF. He played a season there and then a couple of games the next year. Was in some trouble, transferred mid-year. Played a partial season with SMU last year and was really never able to ease into the team. When he was eligible to play, he was thrust into a much bigger role than Tim Jankovic wanted because of injuries to Shake Milton and Jure Foster.
Well, and then there was a leadership vacuum, too, without Jure Foster. Jure Foster comes back into the lineup. Now, Jamal McMurray doesn't have to be relied on for any leadership. He just needs to play and win.
Second team all-conference player. All 7 players have scored so far for SMU. McMurray with 8 to lead the way. And now Jimmy Witt has matched him at just 8 points yesterday. He's got 8 in the first half.
It's one of the most effective manufactured mid-range jump shots I've ever seen. It looks ugly, but the thing goes in consistently.
Arkansas transfer, second year for the Mustangs. Cumberland, his first 3 of the game. He leads the Bearcats with 9.
There's different ways to score, isn't there? Jaron Cumberland's sweet shot from downtown.
Broom out on McMurray. Using the Shagwa screen, defended by Scott now. The big man on him. McMurray. Witt. He doesn't miss that shot. He just does not miss it.
How about Jamal McMurray, though? How do you get that pass through on a bounce pass?
McMurray's got 3 assists. Scott buries an elbow jumper. If you want defense, turn the channel.
And that's the advantage of SMU. This team has a lot more offensive weapons, position by position, than what Cincinnati does. What Mick Cronin has done to win 25 games, with Jaron Cumberland as a star and some other guys that are pretty good. SMU has offensive weapons, like this kid.
McMurray got Broom in the air. Rattled it out. 3 Cincinnati players go for the rebound. Mike missed the bunny. Mike nearly takes it away from Trevor Moore. 50 seconds to go in the half. Cincinnati can tie it with a 3.
If this goes into who outscores who, I like SMU.
Coming up in the Out of Your Halftime Report, Chris Cotter, Chris Patola, and honorary Chris Jordan Cornett will drop by, talk about it. The SEC Big Ten tournaments. Wild result today with Florida beating LSU in the final second. Plus a look at the bubble. We're going to look at a bubble team in our final game tonight with Temple against Wichita State.
Temple 8-5 in true road games. Wisconsin, the only other big budget type team, has got 8-5, played 13 road games this season.
Jennifer hits a 3. He has been perfect from the field with 3 threes and 11 points in the first half. SMU takes the use it or lose it timeout. We're back in 30 seconds to Memphis in a tie game. The Sunflower Showdown in the Big 12 Final. Kansas State and Kansas, the 2 higher-seeded teams. Tonight over on ESPN2, West Virginia and KU at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. All part of Champ Week presented by Principal.
How about Bob Huggins resurrecting the casket scene from many years ago?
On his Twitter
today. As if it's his funeral saying, we're not done yet. How classic is that?
Is there any scarier zombie movie than Zombie Huggy? George Romero couldn't have drawn that one up. SMU has 8 to shoot. Shagwa, 3. Williams fouled it. Oh, boy. 3 free throws coming for Ethan Shagwa. Keith Williams picks up his second foul.
Now, think why Keith Williams was benched earlier. Because he didn't challenge a three-point shot at the three-point line. And this time he was overzealous to get out on Shagwa to make sure it didn't happen again. And fouls, and Mick Cronin just shakes his head and is going to take Williams right out of the game again.
He's going to take everybody out of the game right now. This is a hockey line change. Cumberland, Brooks, Broom, Jennifer. Defense for offense.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Williams is coming out because he fouled a three-point shooter. The other 3 dudes are coming out because they're bringing in 3 offensive guys. He's had a rough half.
2 points, 2 fouls for Williams. Shagwell goes 1 for 3. Cincinnati can take the lead into the locker room. Cumberland's had a terrific half. Off to Jennifer, who's been perfect, and he ends it with his 4th 3.5. How about Justin Jennifer? First Cincinnati lead since 8-7. Wearing a green tie doesn't mean you turn into the Incredible Hulk.
I am tough on metal trash receptacles. Ask any of this.
I said I will. Justin Jennifer, as we said, perfect in the first half. 3 in the field, 5 of 5 for 14 points. Jaron points, but perhaps more importantly, 7 assists, 1 shy of a career high for Cincinnati. Cumberland will take the first shot of the half. And when you're the player of the year, those bounces tend to go your way.
But why double down on the post? All Jared can do is get it back and shoot it.
Cincinnati's largest lead. Cincinnati's largest lead previously was 2, which it had going into the half. Scott got a deflection on that, picked up by Isaiah Mike. Ethan Shagwell, 3-pointer.
It's wide open.
So you were saying about trash receptacle threes and Shagwell with 9. SMU led by with 10, McMurray with 8. All 7 players have scored for SMU. 7 players have scored for Cincinnati.
See, I'd make him shoot that shot. Why double down on Nasir Brooks? Make him shoot it.
Brooks has not shot the ball well over the last month or so. McMurray missed a short rebound to Brooks.
I like what SMU did the last defensive stretch. Cincinnati got it down to Nasir Brooks, and nobody doubled down. They just built defense.
Williams takes it into Foster.
That's where from Jimmy. On you offensively. They're hard to guard. I think them and Houston are the two teams the hardest to guard because of their personnel. Late on their rotations as the ball moves, and that's where SMU can spread you out when they get dribble penetration from Jimmy Whitt. It's a good example of what SMU can do and why they can pick on you offensively. They're hard to guard. I think them and Houston are the two teams, when they're healthy, are the two teams that are hardest to guard because of their personnel.
They are the 2 best teams in terms of offensive efficiency in the American. Houston 1, SMU 2. SMU's problem, they're the 3rd worst team in terms of defensive efficiency. Right. Scott, rebound Brooks, he got hit on the floor. First foul of the half. Ethan Shagwell's first.
Kevin, you bring up a great point.
I know.
And I think that SMU, as your head gets swelled even bigger, that SMU, while they're really good offensively, I think because they lack depth, that's why they're not as good defensively. I'm not sure if they commit as well defensively as they need to for 40 minutes every night because they don't have fresh bodies out there.
Jennifer, 5 for 5 from 3.
When you let great shooters get great looks, the basket becomes 2 times and 3 times bigger. And right now, Justin Jennifer is looking at a rim that's the size of the Grand Canyon.
Jennifer is 1 3-pointer shy of a career high. He's 1 point shy of a career high. Ethan Shagwell just stepped out of bounds.
Have you ever been to the Grand Canyon?
I've not.
It's really big. I mean, really big.
Yeah. I figured that by the Grand in the name.
Yeah.
Although, in fairness, I did grow up on Long Island, which isn't really an island, though it is long. So words can be deceiving, I guess, is the point of all this. What was the point of all this?
That Justin Jennifer is really hot right now, and the basket looks big to him. And give it to him again. He's open.
Instead, he feeds Scott. Sharing his carry.
So now, because defenders come to run him off the line, it creates space in the dead zone of SMU zone. Well played by Justin Jennifer.
Largest lead for Cincinnati, the defending American Conference champion. Foster off the shot fake got by Williams, sets up Shagron. Way off the mark.
But he was wide open.
That was the same spot he had hit the three to start the half. Cumberland. Scott, uncontested putback.
We're going to get a timeout here. Justin Jennifer. For every X, there's an O. For every defense, there's an offense. There's the offense from downtown. And now
UConn and Memphis, the big winners. Cincinnati trying to go on to the semis. Justin Jennifer, 1 point shy of a career high. He's 1 3-pointer shy of a career high. Had 6 threes, 18 points in a home win over Tulsa 2 months ago. Perfect from the field. Cincinnati, brilliant offensively. That is a foul against Keith Williams. This takes us to the under-16 media timeout. Hope you enjoyed it, folks. Get your Emmy positions ready. Or in. Is this a must-win game? We don't know, but it's a should-win game if Temple wants to secure a spot in the big dance. Houston and Memphis at the top of the bracket. The winner of this game gets the winner of that one.
it's an insurance game.
It's an insurance. That's very good. Yeah. How about Cincinnati? 16 days ago, won 52-49 at SMU. Shot 26.6%, which was the lowest field goal percentage in a win in the Mick Cronin era. It was also the second lowest field goal percentage in a win for any Division I team this year. Not that I need to tell you, but Charlotte beating Longwood 42-39 on November 19th. We all remember it fondly. Cincinnati has already matched its total from that entire SMU game.
I got to give you credit cards. You did that in real time during the break. That's pretty good.
I just read it off my boards.
Pretty good.
I'll take the credit, though. Thank you.
Yeah.
McMurray, by the way, hit that last three to make it a 6-point game. Now a foul away from the action. That's Jere Foster's first. Only the second of the half against SMU.
We came into this game anticipating that Jaron Cumberland would defer early. How has he done? He's had 7 assists, 1 turnover, 12 points. He has truly shown offensive leadership for this Cincinnati basketball team. And
you say we came into this game expecting that because you talked to him right before the game.
Yeah, that's exactly what he told me he was going to do. He's going to make everybody better. He has.
Well, Cumberland in his last 5 games had not shot it well. Only 4 for 23 from 3 over that span, with Cincinnati losing 2. Great defense on McMurray there.
When you're the player of the year in this league, it's not just about your offense. That was lockdown defense on Jamal McMurray.
That would have been an 8th assist for Cumberland. I beg your pardon, he got an 8th assist on the jumper by Morse, so that would have been a 9th, but Scott missed the 3. Cumberland has matched his career high 4 assists. Jimmy Witt just can't miss.
He is Mr. Diversity in this league. Jimmy Witt scores it, passes it. He's efficient, especially in that 2-point range. He steals it. He's got 2.85 assist-to-turnover ratio. Shoots 48% from the floor. Jimmy Witt is the most diverse player in the American.
Jared Cumberland may be the best.
He is the best. Voted as the best. And tonight he's been the best player on the floor.
Finalist for the Jerry West-Award. That's the nation's top shooting guard. Leads the Bearcats in points, assists, free throw percentage, steals, minutes played. Popcorn sold, probably. Jere Foster breaks a 3, rebound. And Scott takes it. His 8th.
Jared Cumberland is in complete control of this game right now. Between banging threes, distributing the basketball, playing on-ball defense, Jared Cumberland is showing why he's player of the year. He is dominating this game. Back pass to your shoelaces to a 6'8" guy usually in the middle.
McMurray! He deserved it.
He did deserve it. He wanted the foul, too.
He was hoping for 4. We've seen one 4-point play today. Corey Davis opened the first game today in the American quarterfinals with a 4-point play for Houston.
Did you have a blankie when you were a little kid? Like a whoopee?
Yes.
Did you have a whoopee? Jared just held a blankie. He's the whoopee for the Bearcats.
Now, I don't know what that is.
It means he's a calming effect. He takes care of him.
Scott.
I figured you were a whoopee guy.
Well, is whoopee another word for blankie?
Yeah, blankie, yeah.
Well, where does whoopee come from? Is that a brand name?
No, it comes from Mr. Mom.
Okay.
The old movie, Mr. Mom.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whoopee, yeah. I can teach you 80s culture, young Skywalker.
I remember the 80s well. That vivid month and 8 days.
I'm sure. You had to rub that in, didn't you? I remember some of it.
Wow, Witt with the deflection. One of the steals leaders in the conference in a one-hand slam. And Scott went hard into the folks on our crew by the basket.
And I love Jimmy Witt, and I don't care who knows it.
He has 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, just picked up a steal. Top 15 in the league and just about everything.
And it was a game-time decision to play. And there he challenges the shot for Jared Cumberland and forces the miss.
He missed 2 games recently with a sprained AC joint in his left shoulder. Boy, that was a hot potato, and Witt is Jimmy on the spot. Trevor Moore's on the ground. Brief 5-on-4. He's back up. Mike on the drive. I want to be like Isaiah Mike. Could be a 1-point game on a free throw when we return.
Earlier this year, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists against McNeese. His stat line is unbelievable. Double-figure score, 6.5 rebounds a game, over 4 assists per game, a steal and a half a game. And the guy just does everything for this team. He's in the top 15, top 10 in all the major stat categories.
Jamal McMurray was the second-team all-conference player, rightfully so.
Yep.
Jimmy Witt should have been on the third team. Some thought, some over at this table.
He's like the most valuable teammate. You know, I mean, the dude gets it. He understands how to play and how to win.
So 1-point game after the 3-point play by Isaiah Mike. Now it's Cumberland time. Missed it. Rebound Scott. Trayvon Scott will go to the line. 10 points, 9 rebounds for Scott. And a chance for 2 more.
Really good offensive rebounding technique by Trayvon Scott right there. He didn't stand still. He circled around the basket as he saw the shot goes up and was able to get right where he needed to be. Hard to block off.
Cincinnati's first free throw attempt of the game. It comes 8 minutes and 46 seconds into the second half. Nearly 29 minutes of game time in.
Well, SMU's play a lot of zone. They haven't run guys off the three-point line very often. You know, so, I mean, and listen, Tim Jankovic has to do that because of his lack of depth situation.
Wow, great play by Trevor Moore. Scott, 1 of 2 and Moore, who's played some tough minutes for Cincinnati, got in there for the offensive rebound.
Cumberland is getting multiple touches every single possession. Cincinnati clearly knows who their best player is.
DR with a screen. Cumberland in the shag walk. Cumberland floats it in. 17 for the American Player of the Year. Joining Jennifer as the top scoring Bearcat tonight.
Cumberland deferred early. Now he's dominating.
McMurray. I mean, that's just not a shot you could teach that much, is it?
You know, he's so good off the dribble. I mean, right there, comes to a hard stop, pivots, still is balanced enough to make a shot. He's as good as it gets coming off the dribble into his shot. And that was really difficult shot.
Cumberland. And Mamadou Diarra has the loose ball. Not a lack of effort there, just pinballed around. Diarra, jumper. All right, rebounded by Hunt.
Watch out for McMurray, he's feeling it.
That was maybe his highest degree of difficulty yet. SMU will keep it.
Jaron Cumberland said, I'm going to defer. I'm going to get my teammates involved. I'm going to make them better. But when it gets down to crunch time, Jaron Cumberland and Jamal McMurray are the two guys to watch in this basketball game.
Third straight year Cincinnati and SMU meet in the American Tournament. Cincinnati 61-51 in the quarterfinals last year. That score has been surpassed. SMU won in the final 2 years ago. Faron Hunt fouled. Kane Broom with a foul. That will lead to some Mick Cronin substitutions. Broom and Moore out. Jennifer and Williams in. And Jamal McMurray gets a breather for SMU. Can't imagine this will be for too long.
I don't want to jinx the officials or this game.
So don't say anything.
I'll just put it this way. This game has a good flow to it.
Yes, it does.
Okay, let's say that.
What in the world happened there? Cumberland, flow this. There's a whistle after the basket. Hunt, who's over near the Cincinnati radio table, got a little banged up there. Basket's good for Cumberland. Dan Horde, look out. Cincinnati Bearcats radio man.
So he should never let it bounce. He just should have gone caught it in the air.
Yeah,
Dan Horde and Terry Nelson there, the UC radio broadcast team.
And a terrific broadcast team, by the way. Terry, a former Bearcat great. Right next to our friend from Wichita State Radio, too.
I don't think Dan Horde's feet were set on that. I thought it was clearly a blocking foul on Horde.
Horde's secretly a baseball guy. That's why.
He's soft.
He can't draw charges.
He's a little soft. I'm sure we'll hear about that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I will, I guess. You went Switzerland on me.
Typically the best tactic. Never get into a land war in Memphis.
Shagwell's got to take Justin Jennifer down the block. He's staying on the perimeter. He's got to post him up.
Can I sell you on a Jimmy Witt jumper instead?
You can sell me on Jimmy Witt all night long.
He has 18. He's 9 of 12. Again, he doesn't shoot threes. He hasn't taken one today. 2-point game under 9 to play. Winner to the semis. Cincinnati's going to the tournament. SMU's got to win this American Championship to get there.
Basically playing with one arm and matched up with Jaron Cumberland.
Cumberland way off the iron. Offensive rebound, Scott. That's a double-double for him.
Those 50-50 balls off the offensive glass have been to the advantage of Cincinnati here in the second half.
14 offensive rebounds for Cincinnati. This is what Mick Cronin wanted. Scott.
Looking again to get a hand on the ball again. Williams that time.
Good effort. Here's Witt. Chance to tie or take the lead. Cumberland all over him. Looks like SMU's going to hold out McMurray till the under 8. Witt.
He got fouled. Still
on now.
Yeah, he got fouled. He got hit on the right arm. This guy's playing with one arm. Unbelievable. He was a game-time decision whether or not he would even play tonight.
He was a game-time decision last night, too.
Yeah.
6 to shoot. Cumberland, 3 to shoot. 1 to shoot. High-flying rebound. It's won by Williams, and he's stopped by Shagwell. Falling out of bounds, Foster somehow saved it.
That was a rugby scrum rebound.
Witt matched up on Diarra.
He thinks he can beat him. He does.
He missed finally. Rebound to Cumberland, his fourth.
Good pass.
Jennifer hasn't missed a shot today. He'll pull it out.
And Witt has not only playing great offense, but he's matched up with Jaron Cumberland every single possession.
Cumberland works into Shagwell, picked up the dribble. Scott will take it to the hole. And Scott puts Cincinnati in the lead.
Now Shagwell just bailed out. He could have taken the charge there.
Not any foul trouble, certainly. Just one. Still waiting for the under-8 timeout. McMurray's ready to check back in. Long time to have him off the floor. He checked out at about the 9:30 mark. Hunt kept his feet on the ground into Diarra. Got it back, put it in.
Well, Ron Hunt, there's the motor of #1 for SMU. And now Justin Jennifer coming down the floor holding his left shoulder. That little stinger looks like.
Certainly doesn't feel like just a quarterfinal.
SMU is the X-Factor team. They are healthy. They play different when Dre Foster, he don't even have to score. They play different when he's in the game.
Scott feeling it. He's got 15 and 10.
This has turned into a scoring match. That's advantage SMU.
But again, no McMurray on the floor. He still didn't hit the under-8. This is a lot of time to have McMurray off the floor. About 4 minutes now. Hunt over Jennifer. Well short. Williams tipped it right back to Hunt.
When we do get a timeout, I'm going to visit the SMU bench.
We may get the under-4.
Yeah.
At the under-8. Witt. Foster hadn't touched it all possession. Missed it wildly. Out of bounds. SMU ball. We finally hit the under-8. Nobody is safe in Memphis. Watch your front side. Watch your back side. Watch your monitors. Eric Jordan, look out.
Outside the paint. If they catch it, they're going to look for dribble penetration and Jamal McMurray right there for the 3 ball. Only
6 to shoot it. McMurray at the left block right now, as you see it. There goes McMurray circling around. Instead, he amounts to Hunt. Hunt on the drive. Long arms to get around Brooks and tie the game.
Well-designed, well-executed play from Tim Jankovic as he wheeled multiple guys. They found the first open man going right, and Hunt was good enough to finish. Really well done coming out of timeout.
First 2 games this year, Cincinnati won by an average of 4 points. Scott's miss, rebounded by Brooks, who is hacked. Nasir Brooks will go to the line after Ferron Hunt tied it on the last possession.
It's a tremendous out-of-bounds play. As Hunt caught it, it went to the right. He caught it going away with his right hand. It gave him momentum to go right past the defender. And Jamal McMurray was wide open on the backside as well. You can't draw up a better player, have a better executed SMU. They were locked in that huddle. Every kid was looking at Tim Jankovic eye to eye. They were locked in. They feel right now they can win this game.
Team that was 3-11 in its last 14 before last night. They've looked like a different bunch in this tournament. They've looked like the team that they were the first 4 games of American play when they started 3-1 before the Foster injury 4 minutes into their 5th game of conference play.
They're 10-5 with Dre Foster. They're 76-21 through his career with Dre Foster. They're 5-11 without him.
And Foster got that rebound. He only has 5 points, 2 rebounds. His impact on the stat sheet limited to 25 hard minutes. Witt and McMurray have done most of the damage, with Hunt supplying 6 and 7 off the bench. McMurray. Jennifer taps it out to Scott. Trayvon Scott, his 5th double-double of the year. He also has 5 games of at least 9 points and at least 9 rebounds, so he's had 5 very near double-doubles.
Well, credit SMU's defense. Remember how open Justin Jennifer was in the first half? He has not gotten good looks here in the second half.
He's only taken 1 shot.
They've cheated toward him.
Cumberland, but got it. Jaron Cumberland, an N1 opportunity. Could put Cincinnati up 4 when we return.
Leadership by Jaron Cumberland. for the game, shooting 54% against the Cincinnati Bearcats. Cincinnati shooting just under 50%. I said, if this becomes a shootout, advantage SMU.
Cumberland three-point play, the American Conference Player of the Year in his first game since receiving that accolade, has his 16th 20-point game of the season.
Here's where Cincinnati now really has to communicate defensively. They're in that chameleon defense. They've got to match up.
Jennifer fouls McMurray. That's only the 4th foul on Cincinnati this half. Cincinnati, Williams has 3. That's their only foul trouble. Hunt has 3 for SMU, but he's not even on the floor.
Remember those potential fouls to give as we come down the stretch. This feels like a 2-point, 3-point game when you can burn some fouls in the backcourt. Let's see if Cincinnati can play good enough defense to hold on to it.
McMurray, ball made its way to Witt, who airballed it from close. Looked like McMurray was going up and he got stripped on the way? Or did he try to give that to Witt?
It popped loose somehow. We were blocked off. It's a huge defensive possession for SMU.
Brooks leans in, blocking foul to call against Foster, his 3rd. And Nasir Brooks, who just hit 1 of 2 at the line, will return.
We talked about how important this defensive possession was. As Foster gets outside the lane, that's close. That's a bang-bang play. You know, I think back to the biggest charge of the year, and we're going to see that kid here in the second game tonight. Ernest Flackpee and the charge he took to beat Houston. Houston's first loss at Temple. That was arguably, I don't even think arguably, that was the biggest taken charge of the year in college basketball.
If it's called the block, Corey Davis is going to the line with a second to go to give Houston a 1-point lead, which he probably would have. Brooks misses both. Shagwa the rebound, still a 4-point game. 3 minutes to play.
Keep your eye on 33 in red, Jimmy Witt, and 0 in red for Jamal McMurray. Those two guys have torched this defense. McMurray was wide open. They missed it.
Mike took the 3 instead. It's cleaned up by Shagwa. Inside of the cutting Isaiah Mikey finishes over Nasir Brooks. 2-point game. What do these undermanned Mustangs have left in the tank? They've played just 7 men for the 2nd straight night.
But they have played a lot of zone. Of course, Jimmy Witt now is having to chase Jaron Cumberland out of their place, and that's getting to be a tough duty.
Cumberland just had a 3-point play about a minute and a half ago. He can do it again.
Cincinnati has won 25 games this year. Why? Because of Jaron Cumberland. Look, there are some other good players on Cincinnati, but Jaron Cumberland has delivered time and time again in late game situations just like that.
$25, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 37 minutes. If he's left the game, it wasn't for long. This may be as well as he's played all year.
This is the possession of the game right now. They clear out for Shagwa.
Witt, maybe a push off on Jennifer. Witt misses. Rebound by Brooks. McMurray didn't touch it on what you said was the possession of the year.
That was a dogfight possession won by Cincinnati. That's why they did that shell drill pregame. It paid off right there. And the block-off drills.
Scott. Yes. 7-point lead for Cincinnati. In the last 3 seasons, when leading with 2 minutes to go, Cincinnati is 80-1.
They're smelling blood.
Scott off the steal. He'll pull it out. That's a smart play.
Yep.
Double comes, Foster bumps Cumberland. Foul is called. Foster's 4th. 1-1 for Jaron Cumberland, a 78% shooter. A game that Cincinnati trailed by 8. They've come from 8 points down to win on 6 other occasions this year. This could push the lead to 8. Cumberland 2 for 2 at the line, all in the last 2.5 minutes. Tonight after Oregon, Arizona State in the Pac-12 semis, Bucci and Zubin have Sports Center for you. Breakdown Zion's return to the Duke-UNC rivalry. Third meeting between those two in the ACC semis. The West playoff race heats up. 3.5 games separate 3rd and 8th. Rockets, Blazers, Spurs, Clippers all in action. Andy North on moving day at the Players Championship. ESPN and the ESPN app streaming live. Sports Center, 1:30 a.m. Eastern, 12:30 Central. Mike tried to slam it, and that is going to be ruled.
Think about how we started this broadcast. With a shell drill and coming from the backside to help. That's exactly what Jaron Cumberland did. That's a foul.
Yeah, it was absolutely a foul. Now, it looked like going to be ruled SMU ball, and then Bill Jacobson said, let's go to the scores table. You have to make a call first. Looked like he didn't rule SMU ball. You can't
upgrade
call a foul now.
You can't upgrade it.
You're simply reviewing possession with under 2 minutes to go. Who did it last go off of? By whom was the ball last touched? That's what Bill Jacobson and Joe Lindsay are looking at now.
Now this is what's hard when you're an official, when obviously you missed the call right there. It's clearly off of SMU. And there's no way to go back and call the foul.
In a karmic world, it would be SMU ball, but you can't call the foul. It's last touch. It seems pretty clearly by Mike. So if this is Cincinnati ball, you're down 8 SMU with 1:01 to go. You have to foul right away.
I'd go one more possession with 20 seconds on the shot clock. I'd look to see if I
Cincinnati
get a
will
steal.
get it'll be a fresh 30 though, remember.
20 seconds on the shot clock.
This was 20 for SMU with the ball. So if it is Cincinnati ball, I'm saying it'll be a fresh 30 for Cincinnati.
Ball. You're right. Yes, thank you.
Then do you foul?
Yes, you have to. With the numbers, you have to at 8-point lead. Now, I would defend in the backcourt first. I wouldn't foul until the front court. I'd sell out for the steal.
Cincinnati ball is the call. Again, obviously there was a foul. Can't review the foul. You can only review possession. And it was clearly last touch by Isaiah Mike of SMU.
Yeah, you just got to admit, hey, we missed it, coach. And they did. They missed it. It's not going to make SMU fans feel any better. So now you sell out. You trap as hard as you need to get the steal. Hope the official swallows the whistle, but you sell out at this end.
Cumberland to inbound to Broom.
Now you got a foul.
Yeah, Broom is fouled by Mike. Kane Broom, 76.4% free throw shooter. Not a great free throw shooting team, Cincinnati. Broom is one of their better ones. And Cincinnati is now in the double bonus for the rest of this game.
Well, Kane Broom has certainly made some big shots throughout this season for the Cincinnati Bearcats, and that's another big free throw right there.
Most notably, a couple of weeks ago, in his hometown of Hartford, Connecticut, with 2 threes in the final 90 seconds of a 4-point win at UConn. Rashawn Fredericks replaces Broom for defensive purposes. 10-point lead under a minute to go.
Get huge shots at Tulsa also.
Yeah, tied it with 1.2 remaining in that game on a long 2 earlier in the year. Timeout SMU, off the basket by Witt. Big night for him with 22, but a bigger night for Cumberland with 26.
Before the game, the head coach is the least important guy on the team. It's your internal leader that leads. And Jaron Cumberland is that guy, and Cincinnati is fortunate to have that guy.
He has been on the floor every second of this game. He will inbound. Back to Jennifer. Broom just took the 2 free throws. Back to Cumberland. That pass deflected and stolen by Whip. Inside to Hunt, and a foul called against Cumberland. 40.2 to go. Still fouls to give, remember, for Cincinnati. So that foul on the floor, and SMU will inbound down by 8.
Well, I love what Tim Jankovic just did, though, where he went with full court, high risk, high reward defensive pressure, and decided they would play out the possession in the front half of the court, to go out and just attack, go get it, get a steal, get a turnover, trap as hard as you need to. Really well executed.
What do you run here?
You know, that wheel play that they ran out of that timeout was really effective.
Shangwa instead on the catch. Got to go quickly. 8-point game. McMurray, and his foot was on the line. Backcourt violation, and SMU gives it right back. I want to say for as intense as this game, but that air horn is pretty funny, isn't it? the substitution horn is broken.
I feel like we're kind of at Hoosiers. Of course, they didn't have air horns at Hoosiers either, I don't think. Did they have air horns in 1950? I don't think so.
I'm sure they did.
No, not 1950. They had whistles. Cowbells. More cowbells.
Somebody will tweet at us the correct answer to that. Cumberland gets it to Broom. He's fouled by Mike. Third foul on, beg your pardon, fourth foul now on Isaiah Mike. So Mike and Foster each have 4. Jere Foster, Jamal McMurray, the 2 seniors on SMU, fighting till the end. Broom just hit 2 at the line, makes it 3.
Well, there's Houston there, number 3 seed with bracketology with Joe Lunardi. Cincinnati, a 7 seed, clearly in the NCAA tournament. UCF lost today to Memphis, number 8 seed, as per Joe Lunardi, who's like always right, it seems like. Just like my wife.
Is your wife a bracketologist?
No, but she's always right.
Temple in the last 4 in, according to Joe. There's Jere Foster, Jamal McMurray, the 2 seniors who have given so much to this SMU program. Witt,
tough kid.
Fighting till the end. Last time out used by SMU. Jere Foster, who has fought through so many injuries, and Jamal McMurray, who, as you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, was seasons. SMU has played nearly half its games with between 6 and 8 scholarship players available. And now look, again, this was on SMU. This was something that happened during the Larry Brown era. Had the scholarships taken away. They will be back to a full complement in the 2019-20 season. Williams, McMurray fouls him. Jamal McMurray will end his career after 2 SMU seasons in the top 10 in points per game, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage between SMU and South Florida. 1,463 career points in 90 games. And you wonder if Tim Jankovic will give McMurray and or Foster a send-off here, or maybe he figures the best send-off is just to keep him in the game till the end.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jere Foster told me at the UCF game that he was going to come back, he was going to play this season somehow, some way. And he has done that. He's been on the floor. He's been a significant contributor to this team. Maybe not in the scorebook, but from a leadership perspective, look at him going after the loose ball, throwing his body around. I mean, he is not a good kid. He is a great young man. Tremendous success will soon come to that young man, both on and off the floor. Jere Foster, I admire what he's done.
And Jere Foster, for what's likely the final time in his SMU career, checks out. His 99th career game at SMU. 835 points. Part of that SMU championship team 2 years ago. Torn ACL last year against Wichita State, which really sent SMU's season into free fall. He's going to check back in, though.
Yeah.
That was not the last hurrah for Jere Foster. He's right back to the scorer's table.
Yeah, he's a lunch pail guy.
Does Jere know we're trying to tie up his legacy here?
He has the same birthday as his mother. Mom, you got to be proud of your son.
Yes.
To share that birthday together, I know that's special, but tonight has to be special as well. He has had a tremendous winning career at SMU. And we wish we would have seen a lot more of Jure Foster, trust me.
McMurray, the other senior, fouled shooting a three. Somebody make sure Mick Cronin's head stays screwed onto his neck.
Hey, it's a win. It's a win. It's a win. You move on. Period. End of story.
About a chance for McMurray to get a couple more points in his career at the line.
I love that look on Logan Johnson's face as he's trying not to laugh. I don't think laughing would go over real big.
Luckily, we don't have that issue.
No, we can laugh all we want.
Yeah, we could. Foster's going to check out again.
Logan Johnson's going to be a good player, too. Talented freshman.
This looks like the last one for Foster.
This looks like it's it for Foster. And that's finally the curtain call.
What a great career. McMurray hits 2 of 3. And Jamal McMurray will get a curtain call as well.
So that head coach and that player, they didn't always get along. But they finally came to a common understanding and made their team better. And Cincinnati marches on.
Cincinnati, the defending American Conference champion, will play tomorrow night with a chance to return to the title game. Second seed in the American Conference, the Bearcats